Hello, James. Well, Cameron here, and I hope you're having a great day. Hey, I wanted to shoot this video in order to express my thanks and my appreciation for the 5-hour one-on-one session we had at your home earlier this month. And I think it really benefited me in just numerous ways with your advice, especially on the repositioning of my American Dream brand and my marketing strategies with respect to my upcoming book and speaking tour that we're launching next month. And James, what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a story with you that was sent to me by one of my radio show listeners, and I received it recently at my website, www.ouramericandreamshow.com. And I hope this story will express my feelings of how you have made a difference in my life since we've gotten together here just recently. The story is about a high school English teacher that decided to honor each of her senior students who were graduating in a few weeks by telling them the difference that each one of them had made in her class during the school year. So what she did was she called each student to the front of the class, one at a time, and what she did is she told each of them how they made a difference to her and the class over the past several months. And then she presented each of the seniors with a blue ribbon that was imprinted with gold letters on which was written, "Who I am makes a difference." Now afterwards, the teacher decided to do a class project to see what kind of impact a recognition ceremony would have on their local community. So she gave each of the students 3 more blue ribbons and instructed them to go out in the community and spread this acknowledgement ceremony. And they were to follow up on the results and see who honored whom and then report back to class about a week later. So the students went out in the community, and one of the senior boys in the class went to a junior executive at a nearby advertising agency, and he wanted to honor him for helping him with his college and career planning during the year. So he gave him one of his blue ribbons and put it on his shirt. And then he gave him the 2 extra ribbons he had and said that, we're doing a class project on recognition, and what we'd like you to do is to go out and find someone to honor and give them the remaining blue ribbon. So later that day, what the senior executive did, he went in to see his boss at work, who kind of had a reputation of being kind of a grumpy and bad-tempered kind of a guy. He wasn't very nice to his employees, basically. However, the young man was able to screw up the courage to tell him that he really admired him because he thought he was a creative genius. In fact, he told his boss how his marketing campaigns that he had initiated for clients were legendary in the advertising industry. The boss seemed very surprised and very uneasy to hear this, but the junior executive continued and asked him if he would accept the gift of this blue ribbon and give him permission to put it on him. Well, the boss kind of looked around and said, "Well, yeah, sure, I guess it'd be okay. Yeah, sure, go ahead." So the junior executive took one of the blue ribbons and placed it right on the boss's jacket, right above his heart. And what he did is he then took the remaining blue ribbon, offered it to him, and said, "Would you please take this last ribbon and pass it on by honoring somebody else?" And the teacher that gave the teenager the ribbon that gave it to me said his class is doing a project on recognition, and we want to keep this ceremony going to see how it affects the lives of other people in the community. Well, later that night, the boss came home and sat down with his 14-year-old son. And he said, "Son, you're not going to believe the most incredible thing happened to me at work today." He said, "Yeah, it's just amazing." He said, "One of my employees came into the office and he told me that he admired me and gave me a blue ribbon for being what he said was a creative genius." He says, "Son, can you imagine that? He thinks I'm a creative genius in advertising." And then he puts the blue ribbon on me, and on the blue ribbon it says, "Who I am makes a difference." Can you imagine that? and he gave me this extra ribbon and asked me to find somebody else to honor. And as I was driving home tonight, I started thinking about who it was that I wanted to honor with this blue ribbon. And I kept thinking about you. So son, what I want to do is I want to honor you. I know my days at the office, they're kind of hectic. When I get home, I'm not the best dad, that's for sure. I know I don't pay a lot of attention to you. I know I yell at you for not getting good grades and for your messy bedroom. I'm just not real pleasant to be around a lot of the times. But, tonight, somehow, I just want to sit here and, just let you know that you do make a difference to me. As a matter of fact, besides your mother, son, you are the most important person in my life. I want you to know I think you're a great kid, and I love you very much. Well, the very startled son, upon hearing these words from his dad, started to cry. And he cried, and he kept crying. As a matter of fact, he couldn't stop crying. His whole body just shook with sobs. And suddenly he looked up at his father through his tears, and he said, Dad, he says, I have to tell you that earlier tonight, I was sitting in my room. I wrote a letter to you and Mom, explaining to you why I had taken my life, and I asked you to forgive me. You see, I was going to commit suicide tonight after you and Mom were asleep. I just didn't think that anybody cared about me at all. The letter's upstairs, but you know what? After our conversation, I don't think I'm going to need it now after all. Well, immediately the father goes upstairs and he finds this very, very emotional letter full of pain and anguish and all kinds of things, and it was just amazing. Well, the very next day, the boss goes back to work, and he's a changed man. I mean, his attitude has completely changed from a negative, uncaring boss to a boss who made sure to let all of his employees know that they indeed made a difference to him each and every day. I mean, it was an amazing transformation of attitude. Also, the junior executive that had given him the blue ribbon, he kept on helping a lot of other young people with their college and career planning, including his boss's son, who also learned a very valuable lesson about how much his parents really cared about and loved him for who he was. And of course, the seniors who took part in the class recognition project, they all learned a very valuable lesson too in life. And of course, that is that who you are does indeed make a difference. And James, in my particular case, I just want you to know how much you've made a difference in my life, and I look forward to a long-term relationship with you and with your staff and with the other people who we're going to be meeting through the network, and I want you to help me to inspire many more people to make a difference in the lives of others. And of course, as a direct result of that, what I want to do, James, is I want to present you with this blue ribbon. And as you can see, it has written in gold letters on it, "Who I am makes a difference." And with your permission, I want to present that to you. I can't give it to you now, that's for sure, on this video, but I'm going to give it to you in person at the Mastermind meeting next month when we see each other. And in the meantime, James, I would ask that God will continue to bless you for the difference that you make in all of our lives. I think you're terrific, and I just want you to know that. Have a great day, and God bless.